Yo, 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 welcome back to the Free Zone. This is your homeboy, Freddy Freeze Lopez. As you know, we were talking about NCAA basketball, and you know who I'm going for. So, enough. My special guest today, if you know, you know. I mean, if you played ball in the city of Toronto back in the 80s, back in 82, 83, 84, 85, that era, where real basketball was played in the streets, in the schools, in the crews, dance crews, and basketball crews knew each other in so many ways. I'm going to introduce my special guest today, Mr. Richard Stewart. Thank you for
Hey,
coming in.
Freddie. Good to
Yes,
see you, man. Oh, my Lord. Great to see you.
yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
No, no,
Thanks for having me on.
no.
Great
Thank
thing
you,
you have going here.
thank you for coming through. It's just a pleasure. Like I've been talking to a lot of OGs, and they'll talk about some of the old guys from the back in the day, the Phils, the Stewarts. They go, "Well, Stewart, yeah, that's my homeboy, man. I know him from since back in the day. I know you're a bit younger than I am, but we love the way you play ball." I think we were in the senior team. You guys were the bantam or junior team. I don't recall, but you
Yeah,
were the star.
yeah, it downs you. It downs you. I was on the junior team. Yeah, you were on the senior team. Yeah.
Okay. So saying that, introduce yourself and give us a little bit of history of your background of basketball and how you got there, blah blah blah. And we go take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you know what? This is an interesting story. And I think all of us from immigrant parents
Yep.
have the same, experience coming to Canada. I got here when I was 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up right around Winona and McMurray, right around Oakwood and St. Clair.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
where, yeah, that's where we went first. And
Okay.
my went to McMurray, tried basketball, and just loved it. Then, I transitioned. We moved to Chalk Farm. That was when
Okay.
Chalk Farm was a nice place to live, man.
Yes, it
It was
was.
full contoured lawns. People would lay out in the summertime. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you would help the mothers and the grandmothers with their bags to the elevator.
Correct.
It was like that. It was tight back then, and in the community center because back then in Toronto, a lot of people don't know they weren't rep and prep. What it was community centers played community centers.
Correct.
Clifford Stock Farm, we played Falstaff. We played the
Yes.
Jewish Community Center, JCC.
JCC. Yes.
So we go to Scarborough and play the Galloway boys at their
Yeah.
community center. So
Correct.
every community center, scatting court. You know what I
Wow.
mean? These places, man.
Yeah, we're
So
going back.
yeah, that's back in the day. That's in the early '80s. So we played for bragging rights for your community,
Correct.
and I was fortunate. A guy by the name of Joe Edwards. He was from the United States,
Okay.
and he was the leader of the community center. He ran the community center, the supervisor, and he got a bunch of us kids together. So you're talking about Robert Pinckney. You're talking about Derek Davis. You're talking about a lot of the guys that grew up at Chalk Farm and
Wow.
he took into a team, and we would go 15 guys in the back of a van. You know, in those days.
Yes, sir. Yes,
uh,
sir.
just went to community center and played, and I love the game and practiced every day.
Yeah, I can tell.
And then I ended up at Beverly Heights, which is up by Exbury, up the street.
Yep. Yep.
Walk in the mornings, man, at 5:30 in the morning for six o'clock, 6:30 practices, and then I went to Downsview
Mm-hmm.
for for junior because that was a feeder school. You went from Beverly to Downsview.
Downsville. Correct.
So, Downsview was good. We won the junior championship that year. We had Finbar Strawn, remember him?
Yes.
And God bless, he passed away. We
Okay.
had a
Yes.
lot of guys from the Chalk Farm Falstaff area that went to Downsview. And we had really good basketball players, good coaching as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know what happened at the end of nearing the end of the basketball season? Just something happened to me internally. I
Uh-huh.
recognized that I love my boys. I still contact some of the boys, but I
Uh-huh.
knew that I needed to change.
Yeah.
There's something
Mm-hmm.
inside me says, you know what? I need to get away from here so I can grow. It's just something inside of me said that as a young man.
Yes. Yes.
I asked a lady by the name of Miss Brankley. She was the counselor, you
Okay.
know, counselor at Beverly, and she said, "Why don't you go to Oakwood?" Academically, I was good. I was
Uh-huh.
a B plus student,
Okay.
and Oakwood was more of a higher level. A lot of Asian kids, a lot of Italian kids went to Oakwood, but kids of different backgrounds as well.
Correct.
But kids who are more academically minded.
Yes.
and she thought I could hang there. So, and they had a great basketball team. So that's why I ended up going there. There's a feeling in me that, hanging out with the boys, probably I should go somewhere else a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, and of course.
So that's
Yeah.
why I ended up in Oakland.
Okay, good. So now, once you got into Oakwood, I know you became kind of a superstar for the city, which was it was due to your training, your mental attitude to get to the top as always, and be different. Because back in the day, once you were different, you were different. So I like to know how did it feel when say St. Joseph's came to you? How did that come about? It's like can't imagine the feeling, man.
Hey, let me tell you something, Freddie. It's amazing, man, how all that transpired in my life. I had a 2 year period where I made up my mind that I wanted to be the best
Uh-huh,
in the
uh-huh.
city, in the province, in the country. And I would get up in the morning, say about 6 o'clock, jog to a field, ran laps, sprinted the soccer field,
Mhm.
did chin ups on the football stanchion,
Correct.
push up in the wet dew of the grass, and jog back home. Had my cereal. We had cornflakes back in the day.
Back in the day,
Uh,
yes, sir.
your cornflakes, and then went to school. And I just wanted to be good. And the work it took, there's something in me that was driving me.
Hmm.
Then we played at lunchtime, every lunchtime at school. And then we had practice after. And after practice, man, and that's what the young players don't understand. After games and after practice, I went to chalk farm and shot for about an hour or two. I still worked
Persistent.
on my game after games and after practice. When
Wow.
young people think, okay, I'll just go to the game and do this, okay, and then go chill. No, it wasn't like that for me. I
Uh-huh.
wanted to be the best. And in
Good.
order for me to be the best, I put in the work.
Yeah.
And I was single minded about that. And yeah, I turned into a wonderful opportunity where this is what happened. One of the 5 star camp from New York contacted me
Hmm.
and they wanted to pay for me to come to their five-star camp.
Okay.
Then Converse contacted me, and Converse wanted to promote me and endorse me and all that stuff. So I was one of the first high school players to get an endorsement. You know
Wow.
from
See?
Converse.
Wow,
Yeah,
we
man.
didn't know that.
All
I didn't even
Converse
know that.
out in, they hooked me up. They just gave me stuff.
Wow.
What opened their eyes. Then here's what else happened because of how I carried myself in terms of I played hard. I played defense. I was a team guy. And you're doing it back then, you don't think about it, but as I'm older now, I look at how I did things.
Yes.
There was a man, somehow he was up here on either vacation, and he was connected with St. Joe's. He
Wow.
was at St. Joe's, and the story goes that he went back to Philadelphia and went
Yes.
to the coach at St. Joe's and said, "You got to see this guy. You
Okay.
got to see this guy."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
back then, I mean, I wasn't playing the whole game back then. By halftime, I had 20. Sometimes I had 30, 40
Uh-huh.
points throughout the last 5, 6 minutes.
Wow.
So, I'm averaging almost 30, 15 boards, block shots, steals. I mean, it's off the charts, but, in those times, once we won the game, the coach let the other guys play, which is fine with me. But
Correct.
that's what transpired St. Joe's. And the next thing you know, UConn came calling. So University of Connecticut came calling. They sent a
Wow.
man. And they're looking at me and they're telling me how big the school is, the Big East, and all that stuff. And next
Yeah.
thing you know, man, I'm getting all these. Once Connecticut started coming up, I think the other universities in America started saying, "Who is this guy?" And that was in the newspaper. So back then, the big recruiting stuff that happens now wasn't happening. So
Oh, I know.
you got to score 30 plus and do some work, win championships, and we did that. And
Wow.
that's how a lot of universities in the United States heard about me. And but I ended up choosing St. Joe's, man.
Oh,
Ended
good
up
for
choosing
you.
St. Joe's right for me. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great little story. It's it's amazing for some of the kids to listen to that, and it's like there's always a chance somewhere. Somebody's
Somewhere.
watching you,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm trying to portray, try to convey to the new crews and the new up and coming, whether it's break dancers, hip hop, whatever you love to do. There's always somebody watching you, so you always got to be on your game and keeping it real.
For
You know,
real.
you can't change who you are for to satisfy people. You got to be who you are in order to keep going, because that's
Absolutely.
growth. Yeah.
And the hip hop scene, and you're talking about the hip hop scene.
Yes.
The hip hop scene I know you're going to touch on it, but boy, it was part of basketball. Halftime guys were breakdancing at games. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Like that was part of it. You had crews like of breakdancers from New York, Mr. Wave,
Yes.
the Glide Master. Like these
Yes.
guys came from New York, traveling around right in North America, and they'll
Correct.
come to Dowsview, and they'll give shows, and they go to
Yep.
different schools, and they do shows, and the
Correct.
gym was packed. So you're
Yes.
talking about guys like you who was like, I mean, when I saw, I couldn't listen.
Thank
I
you.
can't. I do the two step, but what you guys do were amazing. We as basketball players, we loved you. The big giant beatbox. You put the cardboard box out. I mean, these
Yes.
guys don't know what you guys went through, and you guys were at the subways. You guys, I mean, guys like you man, are legends in terms of that. And basketball was part of that because the music before basketball and at halftime, cutie
Yes.
pie, cutie
Yes.
pie, roller skate,
Ooh.
uh, uh,
Now you're talking. Yes.
team. You had
Correct.
EPMD, Public Enemy. Top Billing, like all those songs. MC Light, my favorite female rapper,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Bridge is over. All these songs were part of that scene that connected hip hop and
Correct.
basketball.
So from your story and my story is that we're always be together regardless whether you went basketball, whether I went on the dance floor. We were always in the same venues.
Yeah.
So there's hip hop and basketball. They've been like this since the beginning.
Yes.
Okay. Now say that. What was your favorite song? Who was your favorite group out of all the ones you mentioned? Like right
Wow.
now, right now,
On the top of my head, I go to the original Sugar Hill Gang.
yeah,
Rapper's
oh
Delight. Rapper's Delight. Like that's where you start. Like where would
yeah,
you go? If you're an old school OG, you know where the beginning is.
correct, correct.
Sugar Hill Gang, Rapper's Delight.
And I know you're a big music guy because I've seen you. You know you have your setups. I've seen all that. Uh, in terms of DJs in Toronto, who do you recall? I know you're a basketball guy, but I'm sure you know some DJs yourself. Who were
You
your
know what?
favorite DJs?
It's hard for me to say now because yeah, being a basketball guy, like I said to you, yeah, I would. I'm aware of everyone. Everyone's aware of me. But when the national team came calling, I was young. I was 16.
Wow.
That was junior national tryouts. The first time I went to Hamilton for the junior national team. So when my friends were going to parties at night, when my friends were in that scene,
Hmm.
I'm thinking of training. I'm thinking of getting my sleep. I'm thinking of I got to work out tomorrow morning. And I'm alone in the gym lifting weights, which I don't
Yeah,
recommend young people because you need a spotter.
correct.
But I remember. So for me to say who was my favorite DJ, it's kind of hard. There's a sound crew like military sound crew. Military
Okay.
was a chalk farm down that
Yeah.
corridor sound system.
Uh-huh.
So reggae music and those types, but I wasn't heavily into that kind of nightlife because basketball had me on another track. You know what I'm saying?
Correct, correct. I talked to, and I know for a fact some of the OG Phil Dixon. You know,
Yes.
just like you, we were dancing up in Bathurst. I will be practicing and thinking about what jam we're going to tonight, or where am I going to battle tonight. Meanwhile, Phil will be just with the basketball.
Yeah.
He didn't talk about nightlife. He didn't talk about anything. Just basketball, just like you. So it's nice. It was so nice to see you guys grow and get to the level you got to, and it's just amazing, man. Just
Phil
incredible.
Dixon, man, great story about him. Phil and I played on one of the national teams together, Canadian national teams together. And I
Uh-huh.
remember when because Phil is younger than me, he was coming up when I was already established.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
he's a bit behind me. But Phil, one of the things about Phil that people don't understand, who don't know basketball, let me just give you a quick synopsis.
Yep.
If Phil did not get injured, NBA All Star,
Oh, 100
NBA
percent.
All Star, and without question, NBA
Correct.
All Star. His passing, his vision, forget about the shooting and making shots and all the. His passing was elite. You're talking
Yeah.
about Magic Johnson,
Magic
elite.
Johnson. That's what I used to think when I watched him play at
Right?
Bathurst. Yes.
I I love playing with him because when I ran and I cut, the ball was there and it was in the
Already
right
there.
spot every single time.
Yeah, he had
And
a big.
people don't know this about me, but we moved on the other side of jungle.
Uh-huh.
For about 3 years, I lived on. People don't know this. I think I'm a strictly child farm guy, but I
Yeah.
lived on the other side of jungle, near Yorkdale Mall.
Oh, wow.
I know a lot of people don't know that. Few
I
people
didn't
know that.
even know that. I thought you were a truck farm, just truck farm.
Well, I'm a child
Wow.
farm guy, so I
Yes,
recognize myself as that upbringing in that community and that
correct.
connect with those with that community. But no, I lived 3 years when my dad had moved